What is up, guys? Welcome to Motos and Mullets. It's a cold, misty kind of day here. That's not going to stop me from making a video for you guys. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to ride a motorcycle. And this is going to be the basics. So, this is for somebody that hasn't ridden a motorcycle before, has maybe ridden a dirt bike a couple times, is not really sure on what to do. So, this is going to be the bare basics on how to actually ride a motorcycle. And then eventually I'll make a video on, like improving your slow speed maneuvering, stuff like that, just become a better rider. So, get this thing started. On your right hand side, you got your throttle here and your front brake lever. Left hand side, you have your clutch lever. Right foot is your rear brake pedal, and then your left foot is your shifter. And on most motorcycles, the shift pattern will be if you start neutral, you'll go one down to first gear, and then all the other gears, 4 or 5 depending on what bike you have, will be up. So from neutral, 1 down, and 4 or 5 up. Most motorcycles will have like your start and run switch on the right side. This 2020 Softail doesn't have a key. They're keyless now. So you have your run switch, and then you'll have your start switch right there. So most bikes will have a neutral indicator right there. You can see I need some gas, but wanted to get this video done. So you'll have your neutral indicator, and usually when I start the bike, I hold the front brake and I pull the clutch in, just as like a little safety thing. So we can go ahead, we hit our run switch, the bike has power. Then go ahead and hit your starter and get her ripping. Got the neutral indicator light on, so you know it's a neutral. You can let the clutch out. First things first is you need to understand how a manual transmission works. So when you pull a clutch in and you put it into gear, the engine isn't in contact with the driveline. When you let the clutch out, the engine starts to contact, and that's how you move forward. Whenever you want to stop, you always need to pull the clutch in if you're not neutral, but we'll get to that later. This is just the basics. So first thing you're going to want to do, you're in neutral, pull the clutch in. Then with your left foot, you do 1 click down, and you'll feel it. Some bikes you have to hit it harder than others. This one, just 1 click down, the neutral light goes away, so you're in first gear. Next thing you want to do, and this is how I taught Caitlin, and she's never driven a manual before, but then the first thing you're going to want to do, no gas, just start slowly letting the clutch out, and you'll feel the bike start to grab and move forward a little bit. Then you pull it back in. Just do that a few times, get used to where it grabs. Most bikes you'll be able to just keep slowly letting the clutch out, no gas. Just keep slowly letting it out, you'll start going faster. Pick your feet up, and you can just continue to slowly let the clutch out. And you can get a feel for how the bike moves. So once you're going, you want to stop. Like I said, whenever you stop, you need to pull the clutch in. So you'll pull the clutch in, and it's good practice to always use the front and the rear brake. It's just safer. And I would just practice that several times. Get used to letting the clutch out, feeling where it grabs. You have to do this slowly so the bike doesn't stall since you're not giving it gas. Slowly let it out, pick your feet up. Clutch is fully out. We're just cruising along. We need to stop, so you pull the clutch in and hit the front and rear brakes. And you want to be smooth on the brakes. You don't want to slam on them or anything like that, because that will shift your weight around and you'll lose control. First start going like that, you want to pick your feet up as soon as possible. You don't want to be riding around like with your feet out like this, or like trying to run along with the bike. As soon as you get it going, you're slowly letting the clutch out, you get the bike going enough, pick your feet up as soon as you can, and then just continue to let it out slowly, and you have it all the way out. So you don't want to always take off like that, because obviously it's really slow and you don't want to be doing that in traffic. So when you're ready, when you're comfortable with that and you're ready to start, going to the next step, the next step will be just adding a little bit of throttle. You hear the revs come up a little bit, and just slowly let it out again. You'll feel it grab, and you start going. And then that same thing as when we were just doing it with no throttle. You roll off the throttle, clutch in, and front and rear brake. So I would do that a lot. I know when you're first learning, you're excited and you want to get going and actually ride. But I would practice this for a while in a parking lot, just make sure you're really comfortable with it. So whenever you're ready with that, then the next step will be just starting to shift gears and going a little bit faster. So it's going to be the same thing. You just bring the RPMs up, let the clutch out. And if you have a tachometer, you can look at it, but I would say don't worry about that. You can just go off sound. Everybody knows how it should sound when you're ready to shift something. Let me go around over here. You know, everybody knows a bam, bam, bam. Everybody knows that, so you get going. You can hear the RPMs come up. Then you roll off the throttle, clutch in, and then one full click up. You can hear it and you'll feel it. Then you're in second gear. Some bikes will have a gear indicator. Older ones probably won't. So I'll do that again for you guys. And like I said before, with the brakes, clutch, everything, you just want to be really smooth as possible. And just take everything slow. Rev it up. Start letting the clutch out. Off throttle, clutch in, one full kick up, and now you're in second. And that's going to be the same thing going all the way up, third, fourth, fifth. I'll shift into third so you guys can hear that too. So we're in second. You hear it's ready to shift. Off throttle, clutch in, another full kick up, and now you're in third gear. Once you're a little bit better, it'll be easier. Some people might want to wait, but usually I'll downshift before I actually come to a stop. So if that's too much for you to do, you can wait till you're actually stopped and then just kick it down all the way. Whatever you're more comfortable with. So you're going second gear. Now we need to come to a stop, roll off the throttle, clutch in, both brakes. Then you can downshift to first, or wait till you're fully stopped. And that's pretty much the basics there. Just some little tips will be, when you're starting out, like you're from a stop and you're starting to go, you have the RPMs up, and you hear how the RPMs drop when the clutch starts grabbing. If that starts really bogging down, all you need to do is just pull the clutch back in and either restart, or if it's just bogging down a little bit, then either you can just add a little bit more throttle or just let the clutch out a little bit slower. So just listen to the bike. Like I said, everybody knows how it's supposed to sound, you know, when the RPMs come up and everything like that. If something gets squirrely or just anytime you don't know what to do, just pull the clutch in and you'll be fine. And you're gonna stall, so don't get frustrated or anything like that. It's not gonna hurt the bike. But when you're first starting out, if you've never driven a manual, you're gonna stall until, you know, you get a feeling for it. Check 1, 2, we're good. Doot doot. Ooh, Nelly. Yeah, so just keep practicing in a parking lot for a long time. I know it's boring, but you'll be happy to be a better rider. It'll make things better once you're actually out riding on the road. So yeah, you just like rev it up, and you know, it doesn't matter if you rev it up high, you just keep slowly letting the clutch out. It's not going to hurt the bike. Clutch in, both brakes, and then you kick it down into first. And that's the basics to riding a motorcycle. It's pretty easy, just you need to practice and, you know, get used to doing so many different things at once. And downshifting and braking like that, we'll go over that in another video. That's kind of once you're more advanced and used to riding a motorcycle. When you're first starting out, you coming up to a stoplight, you'll just do clutch in, bolt brakes. And just be really smooth with the clutch, really smooth on the brakes. Because you know, if you're coming up to a stoplight, you pull the clutch in and you hit the brakes and you hit them too hard, you can see the bike jerk down like that, and that's gonna upset your weight. And you might not be used to, you know, throwing the weight of a heavy motorcycle around, like if you're on a Harley or any cruiser. You know, if you're on a sport bike and they're pretty light, it's not that big of a deal. But especially like if you're doing a slow speed turn like this, you definitely do not want to hit the front brakes hard while you have the handlebars turned like that. So we'll just do a quick recap here. We'll do the full cycle. So you get on your bike, hit the run switch so the bike has power, hold the front brake in, hold the clutch in, hit the start button, and the bike started. You're in neutral. You let it warm up a little bit, and now you're ready to go. Pull the clutch in, shift down one click into first, and start giving it some gas. Let the clutch out slowly. Slowly starts to grab, and you're going. And you can just cruise in first gear. You can speed up if you need to, slow down. You're coming to a turn. Start going again, and now you're on the main road, so you give her some gas. Shift into second. Off throttle, clutch in, one full click up, and you're ready to rip in second. Coming to a stoplight, off the throttle, clutch in, front and rear brake, and downshift. And come to a stop. And this is like a tip. Some people do it more than others, but everyone says the safest thing to do is keep it in gear. You know, if you're stopped at a stoplight, especially if you're like in a big city and there's a lot of traffic, you keep it into gear so you can keep an eye on what's going behind you. For some reason somebody's texting, they're about to ram into you, you can get out of the way since you already have it in gear. So, but that's once you're, you know, out actually riding. Just for learning how to ride a motorcycle, it's just those quick steps I showed you. And the number one thing is just be really comfortable with whatever bike you're riding. And then once you're comfortable with the bike and comfortable shifting and everything, you can go out on the road and start letting her eat. And you say, but be ready. I know how to ride, but I don't know how to send it like you. Then I'd say, well, you go right here and watch this here how to send it video, and I'll teach you everything you need to know. So yeah, link to the how to send a video right here for any new riders that want to know how to send it. That's going to wrap it up for this one. Just a quick basic how to ride video for anybody that's out there learning. Like I said, eventually I'll do some more in-depth videos, some, you know, how to improve slow speed maneuvering, stuff like that, and just tips to become a better rider and, you know, more comfortable with your motorcycle. That's going to do it for this one. It's starting to rain. Good thing I'm only a couple minutes away from the house. But till the next one, let her eat, send it in deep, get out there and ride your motorcycle, have fun. Peace.